Check, check. Hello. Hello, hello. Check. Nice. Think we're good. Hello, hello. Welcome to the live stream. Just getting everything set up here. I'm going to message our Discord community and tell them that I'm live. And grab the link. Let's see, what is it? It's a scary message every time I see it. That's cool. The Discord community is getting bigger. 50 plus. That's solid. Let's see what's going on. Please improve. Always trying our best to. Welcome, welcome. I'm good to be back. First live stream of the new year. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone's doing awesome today. Welcome to the Q&A. I was playing around with some shell scripts earlier. Happy Tuesday. Nice. I think we're all set up here. I'll give a few minutes for everybody to get on. Hope everyone's doing awesome today. I hope you had a good new year. I hope 2021 is a little bit better than 2020. Nice. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to make sure it looks good. I don't want anyone to struggle to see. Nice, that should be good. I'll probably end up playing with it throughout the whole thing, like how I always do though. Hope everyone's doing awesome. Welcome to the Q&A live stream. I got a question. Does WayScript have plans to add any other languages such as PHP? Yeah, they're always on the radar. We talk about it, I think like once a month. But yeah, they're definitely, we just have to prioritize what we want to build. But other languages are definitely one of the main priorities for us. I don't know about specifically PHP, but I think that's a big one that we talked about. Yeah, PHP would be cool. I think we talked a little bit about C++ too. Definitely a lot of cool things you can do now with the file system or programming languages. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the first Q&A live stream of the year. Hope everyone had a fantastic new year. Excited to see you all. Feels like it's been a long time. I think we missed one over break. So it's been a month. Too long. Too long for a Q&A live stream. But I hope you're all doing fantastic this Tuesday afternoon. Just giving it a few minutes for people to jump in. Let's see if I can pull something up. I'm curious to see how it did. I ran a YouTube poll this week. Let's see if it got any responses. Oh, cool, it did. Got a couple of responses. I think I might do this weekly and then go over it on the live stream. But looks like we got some responses. I asked people, the file system is live. What do you think about it? And about half of the people, it looks like everyone who's tried it and said they liked it. A couple of people said confusing at first, but great once you know what you're doing. So be on the lookout for another poll this week. I think that's a neat idea. Might go live after this live stream. Why not give an intro before the Q&A? Yeah, we can go through an intro. So let me get a new script. I'm like way zoomed in too, so it looks a little bit nicer than this usually, but I know it's hard to see on YouTube. So what WayScript is a development environment is what we're going for. So let's say that we wanted to create some script. Let's see. We can just say Python example script. I probably have a bunch of these, so I'll make it v3. But the cool thing with WayScript is that you don't have to worry so much about setting stuff up, but instead you can get straight to coding. So usually I'd have to go through and download Python and all the packages and libraries that I want to use. But instead, I can just get on WayScript and start coding in like 30 seconds. So let's see. I wonder if I have a Python file and I've already coded up. I'll just take one from my computer. What do I call this? Python. So let's say I have some Python script that I've coded up, right? I got one right here. And we'll drag it in to the file system. And I can be set up and running this in like 3 clicks. And just like that, my local Python script can now run in the cloud. So we'll run this. And we get back what I'm looking for. So this is kind of cool because I didn't have to install any packages or libraries or anything. I'm using them here. And it just works. So that's one big selling point. And then if I want to work with my team, what I can do is I can just share it with whoever and we can work on this together. Or I can just build this in a team. So let's say I have a group of people all working on the same project. I'll give it a few seconds to load up. So this is just a team that I've created, and I can add members to my team. So then we can all work on the same projects together. So here I've coded something in SQL. And let's say I needed some help from someone a lot smarter than me. They could come on here and just code my SQL too. And that's funny, I actually didn't code the SQL. So I definitely need the help. But yeah. So what we're trying to do is just remove all the headaches for developers, give you an online development environment so everything is easy, transferable, and less painful, pretty much. So we do not need to install any packages. Well, we already have a bunch installed. I take it Python specifically. We already have a bunch installed, but if we don't have it installed, what you can do is install it through requirements.txt. Let's see, what version of Python, what modules do you have pre-installed? I know we have a list. Let me find it. It's somewhere in here. But yeah, we have a list of Python libraries. I'll throw this in the chat. But like I was saying, these are just pre-installed. So where I ran that script and I didn't have to install anything in this one, if I did need a library, then I could always install it too manually. So it's just kind of one less step. But if you do need some obscure library, or not obscure, but just one that we haven't gotten to, you can add it to requirements.txt and it'll download. You can add any third-party libraries to the requirements.txt file and they will work in your Python scripts. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Each WayScript program is a unique, requirements.txt. When you talk about SQL, but if our database found in remotely server with specific port, I'm not sure if I understand. When it comes to databases, we do support a couple of different ones right now. You can install any modules you want. Yep. Python version is 3.8, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, so I hope that's a good explanation. But there's a lot of modules. I didn't cover that. That's one good thing I could cover. We've also built a lot of modules that speed up your workflow. And then automation too. So we have these things called triggers. And let's say I want to execute this script every day, every hour, every minute. I could using a trigger. if I wanted to execute this script on an event type, I could use, let's see, any of these. Yeah, okay, big enough. So let's say I wanted to do something cool. Let's say I wanted to, on a Slack message to a specific channel, I wanted to query my database for some information and then write it back. I could do that pretty quickly using the modules and the triggers. And then if there's any modules that we don't have, you can suggest them, or you can just use the API directly in a Python module. So there's nothing that prevents you from building your own stuff if you need it, and we haven't built it. But we always look at module requests and always keep an eye out for what to build next. So if you want something, just let us know, and we'll try our best. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Our newest major feature is the file system. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff with this. So each of these, is it big enough? I could probably zoom in more. Yeah, so each of these in my file manager here is a script. And I can access each of these in the contents of each script from my file manager. I also can do things like write files, store files, access files. And all sorts of other stuff. How about SAP Automation? Oh, automation. Okay. Uh, yeah, so SAP is a tough one, right? Um, it's just such a large piece of software. We don't have a module right now for SAP, but if you can interact with an API for your specific SAP setup, um, you could do it from here. Also, if you wanted to build custom tools and replace it, then you could do that with WayScript too. I know there's a lot of different versions of SAP, but I mean, you could probably do most things inside WayScript. Whenever I worked with SAP, I was in charge of a supply chain, and I feel like I could do most of that with WayScript now. I think we can use SAP Automation by using RFC library. Hmm. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah, so this is looks like you could. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I might have to check that out a little bit. Let's see. What if I have an SAP script? Can it be used here? Is it written in ABAP? I don't know how to say ABAP. because that's a language we haven't integrated, and I don't think we've talked about that, but that's probably worth looking into. I mean, do SAP Automation. Yeah. Sorry. Could you perhaps talk about how user credentials for web-based applications that WayScript accesses are protected? Yeah, so we're doing our we are very conscious about how we're handling credentials, and that's something that we're actively discussing right now. Uh, do you mean like when I OAuth an account for my account for a module, or do you mean like storing your own credentials for web-based applications? So web applications that you're creating or that you interact with, I guess. And I could talk a little bit, but uh, yeah, the smartest guy I know who's on the team is in chat too, so he can probably give you a better explanation. And Jeff's the man. If you're using email arrival as a trigger, so let's look at what that uses. Gmail. Give it a second to load. Aha. Yeah, Jesse says, any access credentials to third-party systems, keys are encrypted and stored in our database, not stored in the program context. Yeah, so that's a lot better of an answer than what I probably could have given. Oh, I guess this is gonna hang. Oh, that might be a staff only module trigger. Yeah, and that sweet. Thanks. We are also currently working on a first class feature if users want to add their own credentials, keys for access, and code steps. Yeah, so that's what I was kind of mentioning. But that's a better way to put it. First class feature. That's something that I know we're working on. Definitely a high priority. Cool. Welcome to everyone that just joined in. Welcome to the Q&A. Happy New Year. Happy 2021. I'm just hanging out, answering any questions. Did I get a... Cool. I'll just build a few demos while we're sitting here waiting on questions. So if you have one, just send it in chat and we'll be sure to answer it. I'll call it a playground. So I've been playing around with shell scripts recently. Admittedly, I'm not very good with the bash commands, shell commands. So I've been learning. I got a little cheat sheet open. I know most of the main ones, but definitely wouldn't know stuff like that. Remove directory. I never used that before. But I'm gonna get a video up on this week. But with the file system now, all of this stuff is kind of cool to play with. Can we make some codes that check my server if it is up or down and give alert pop-up windows? So we can't do the pop-up. Well, I guess you could if can you open a new tab? I'm not sure if you can do the pop-up window, but you can check a server and see if it's down. Just like a web page or something. We can build that up. So if you just want to check a web page, you can. I believe we also have a module too. Excuse me. I'm sorry. No, we may not. I don't know. I would just code it in Python. So and send a request to whatever server you want it to, and then go to the URL. So whatever URL you wanted. And then we'll say something like print r.status code. And if you get back anything other than a 200 for us, then it would be down. So we get back a 200, so we know it's not down. But just in case, we could create our script. Status equals r.status code. We'll run this. All right. So we're getting back a 200, but we want to check if we don't get back a 200. So we can use an if statement. If status is not the same as 200, then we could do whatever we wanted. So the pop-up window would be kind of hard. We don't have control of your browser or anything, but you could send a Slack message or an email. So it would just go here. How to add domain to WayScript website. Yeah, that's currently not a feature, but it is a compelling use case to us. We've talked about it. There are things that are kind of higher, well, definitely higher priority right now, but that is something that is on the roadmap, if that makes sense. So we've talked about that before. Using Windows 32 API for the pop-up window. Yeah, I've not played with the so I just started using a Windows computer. So I'm not completely familiar with that Python library, but WayScript, since it's hosted on the cloud, your code is hosted on the cloud, there's no control of like your computer or like opening tabs or anything. I'm thinking about learning a new language. Torn between Python and Golang. Which one do you choose? Which one is better, faster? By the way, thank you for your SQL course. Super helpful. Um, so I'm a little biased, but uh, of course I don't know Golang either. But for me, my choice was Python, just because there's a lot of reasons. But if you're new or newer to programming, Python is very readable, and it makes it um, less about understanding the all the nuances of a language and more about actually writing code, if that makes sense. It's easier to pick up, it's quicker to learn, and you spend less time programming. But at the same time, you also trade off on speed. So Python's not like crazy slow, but it is slower than other languages, which I'm not familiar with Golang. I don't know if it's slower, but I chose Python. But good luck on whatever you choose. If I were to create a website in WayScript, would I need to use Cloudflare for domains? Um, Cloudflare. Oh, no, no, no. You're saying for the SSL certificate? Like, is it? No, I believe we provide that. But we also, there's no functionality for the custom domain part yet, which is, who was saying it? Kashif? Uh, we don't supply the custom domain functionality yet, but I believe it is has a certificate. If that's why you're using it. If you're using it for um, a DNS, I'm not, or something else, I'm not sure. Or what feature of Cloudflare, I guess, are you trying to mimic in WayScript? I believe it is secure. Yeah, connection is secure. Can developers create webhooks to act as a trigger for a script that responds with HTML that asks the user for info which WayScript could then respond to? To act as a trigger for a script that responds with HTML. Yeah. So let me make sure I break down your question correctly enough. So you can make a. Oh wow, I'm surprised I haven't used that before. You can make an HTTP trigger that you can send a response to, and then you want to return HTML. Yeah, you can do that with an HTTP response. So then you could put in your HTML. Which asks the user for info. With HTML that asks the user for info. So like have a form on here that you could then respond to the form. Yeah, I think that's possible. And then just have another response. If I understand your question correctly, yes, I think you can do it. DNS. Um, that's yes, a form would be an example. Yeah, you can do it. You could code your own, and then we also have a form functionality. If you just wanted to throw up something pretty quick. Oh, I didn't turn it on. All right, there we go. On the yeah, on the DNS, then the pages are secured. If that's what you're asking. I hope this answered your question, James. If it didn't, I can dive back in. Nice. Oh wait, that's not the right one. Where was I? What was I doing? Oh yeah, playing around with shell scripts. Welcome, welcome everyone to the Q&A live stream. I'm just hanging out answering questions. Yes, thanks for that. Oh, no problem. No problem. That's why I'm here. So we're just hanging out, answering questions. While there's no questions, I'm just playing around with shell scripts. Going through a cheat sheet and trying to remember all of these. Let's see. I remember this one. So what's cool is with these shell scripts, it just works, which is pretty neat. You just make files and move around, changing your directory and printing whatever you want. It's cool. I feel like this module is one that I didn't use a whole lot before, but something that I definitely want to use more in the future. Let's see. View the context of a text file. See, like less is one that I never would have. So does it just work like that? Is HBO's Silicon Valley funny for you as a programmer? See, I don't watch a whole lot of TV or HBO, but I'm sure there's others in chat that would find it funny. I'm not sure what it's about. What is it? Silicon Valley? No, HBO. Yeah, I've never seen it. Never seen it. Playing around with this shell script. Let's go put some text in this text file and print it. Oh, my screen is small again. I'm sorry. That's something I battle with. That's probably cool. Probably good. This is cool. This is probably good. Is this how this works? Less. What is it? I don't know. I'm a novice when it comes to shell programming. All I ever use is a change directory, make directory, and change directory. So I'll have to learn these. Tail, I need that one. Head, I need that one too. Yeah, I'll get better at these. DF. Amount of available space. I wonder. Yeah, there's no telling. Yeah, something I got to get better with. But it's pretty cool that it works like your own computer. That's what we're going for. That's what we're trying to mimic. Is just uploading stuff and it working, which is usually not the case, as I'm sure a lot of you know, is usually not the case with most things. It usually doesn't work out of the box. Usually configuring. But welcome everyone. We can play around with a few Python scripts while we wait on questions. If anyone's got any, we're happy to answer them. If there's anything you're working on, anything you're trying to build, we can build those too. Try to help out. I think there was a build someone needed in Discord today. Selenium, which I run through terminal. Let's do that. So this user wanted to run Selenium. So we'll go grab this example. Actually, we'll just clone it. So what this script does is uses a Python library called Selenium, and it's just for web scraping and automated testing, but this is more web scraping, this example. So how this one worked, actually I'll show you how I got it first. So with WayScript, there's a community of developers where you can come on here and just clone scripts that they've made public. So if you find something that you like, you can just come on here and clone it to your own account. So here I found this Selenium demo by Jeff. I can just clone it, which I just did, so I'm not going to clone it again. But then you can find it on your profile. So now we can use all of his code and build off of it. Or just change it. I'll probably end up just changing it. So let's see. What's the URL that we're going to? WayScript. So we could go to any URL that we wanted and scrape it. I guess we would have to know the specifics of his script to... Oh, what happened? Oh, that's the wrong one. We'll get rid of those tabs. I probably should have added them and helped them. Cool. Is there any builds that anyone wants to see, or any projects that anyone's working on that they want help with, or any questions for anybody? I'm just goofing off. I'm just playing around. So if you need help, don't hesitate. Let's see. What did I work on this morning? Oh yeah, I can show you guys. Why don't we just wait around on questions? Check this out. WayScript TikTok. 39 views already. Let's see if it's gone up. Ooh, we got a follower and 12 likes. Wow. Look at that. On our way to stardom already. Yeah, I played around with vertical video this morning for a Twitter post, and figured it might be neat to just throw it up on TikTok, see what it did. So yeah, go follow us on TikTok if you want to. Cool. Sorry, I was looking at the analytics for it. Let's see. Can you do something like build and host a Flask website on WayScript? So not currently. The websites that you would have to build on a platform right now utilize the HTTP trigger, but that's something that's on the roadmap. So we've discussed, let me get into one of these. So with this file manager here, all of this is WayScript files, if that makes sense. So we make all of these files on WayScript right now, but in the future, what we want to do is let you bring your own files much more readily. So whether that be other third-party services or straight from your own account, which you can bring them straight to your own from your own account right now, but we don't have a good way of setting up an entire Flask application right now. But that is something that we've talked about too. Admittedly, there's probably a lot of work that we need to do still for that. But sometime in the future, that would be a awesome functionality to have. Yeah, so right now the websites that you can create with WayScript are much simpler, which they don't have to be simple. They just use the HTTP trigger and responses. So each web page is kind of its own function. So let's say I want to build a sample portfolio website. Each web page here would be the trigger and then the response with the content associated. So then if I had 4 or 5 pages, then I'd have to build them out like this, which admittedly is not the best if you're looking at like Flask applications. But definitely something that we've talked about. Something on the roadmap. I'm not sure how far out it is though. to be completely honest. Does WayScript support Oracle CX Python? Is that a Python library? Oracle CX? What is it? Oracle CX? Yeah, so if you just if it's a Python library, yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think it's installed by default, but you can install any of those libraries. So like say you need something like that, Oracle CX sample. What I can do is I can create a Python step, and that's going to give me the requirements.txt file in my file browser. I was just checking to make sure it was big enough. I'll zoom in too, that way you can see it better. It might be too big, but so when I create this Python step, it creates this requirements.txt in the same directory as this program. So then here in this file, whatever the install is, like whatever you would type pip install x, you would type x right here. So I don't know what the pip install for Oracle CX is, or which one you're using. Well, I guess there's no spaces, and you could just type it in here. And then what that does is it pip installs it for you. So then you can just write your code like how you would normally in the Python step. And that applies to anything in the PyPy library, CX Oracle. Yeah. So oh, no. Let me go back. So Oracle CX requirements.txt, and then to get it working, CX Oracle, and then you could just write your code like normal. So if I have a second requirement, I could just type it here and just keep on going for however many libraries you need to use. And then just code Python like normal. So now when you type something like whatever it is, import, what was it? CX Oracle, or however you do the import. I'm not sure with this library, but it'll find it. Aha, I got it. Thank you so much. Here to help. Glad it works. Yeah, so no limitations is the idea. The pre-installed stuff is just for ease, because there's so many people that come on the site and install, requests or pandas or whatever else it is, that we just pre-installed some. But anything that's not installed, you can add it. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. Jesse found a tinydb library on GitHub, and we've been using that, just installing it. And then let me show you one more thing too. So we do have one more convenience feature when it comes to installing libraries. Let's say in my code I want to import tinydb and then use it or do something with it. When I run it, I should get an error back because I took it out of my requirements.txt. And then I get this pop-up that says add missing module. Oh, sorry, let me move myself. Add missing module to requirements. You can click on this too, and it'll add it in. I thought I opened it up. Yeah, but now it's there. Awesome. Sorry, my setup looks so bad. I'm seeing it on OBS. I'm moving soon, so I'm gonna have a new set for YouTube videos. So I just have to make it through this week of no furniture. Let's see. How does tinydb compare to Postgres? Are there any pros and cons to offer about this? Yeah, so tinydb is a great solution whenever, what's a good way to say it? You're not, I wouldn't say that tinydb is like a business grade database. So if you're doing a ton of execution, or not executions, reads and writes on your database, then tinydb doesn't have like all the nicer features that a Postgres database would, or an SQL database would. If you're building something simple though, and you don't need an elaborate database with a bunch of features, or you're not doing a ton of writes to it, then tinydb is awesome because it's simple. there's minimal setup, and the database portion of it is just a JSON file, so you can access it. Let me see if I have one. Got a lot of templates. That one got wiped. Yeah, we'll open this one. I'm nervous to open this because this is the publicly shared one on a video. But all the reads and writes just come from a JSON file. db.json. Oh, I haven't written anything to it. Let's write something to it pretty quickly. We'll just insert this text. Excuse me. Run this. Oh, that's way small. Okay. We'll go down here and find it. Lots of scrolling. And then it just put in. So small applications are awesome for tinydb. But if you need something a little bit more professional, I just set up an SQL database or Postgres database or whatever your preference is. Nothing bad against tinydb. They do exactly what they try to perfectly, I think. Oh, word. Hey, Jack. Yeah, I'm moving. I move on Thursday. I'm going to Florida. I'm going farther south. gonna be sweet. I'm gonna be like a mile from the beach. It's gonna be awesome. Is SQLite 3 another good solution compared to tinydb? Can you use pandas with tinydb? So the second part of your question, pandas with tinydb, no. Pandas isn't really used with any database as far as I know. It's only used with Excel. So I don't think you can use, maybe you can. Actually, I might be misspeaking. I should know this. Yeah, you can. That's a cool use case. This is something that I should probably know about by now after all the Excel videos. Yeah, so you can probably read it in and use pandas. Excuse me. But I've not done it yet. So I don't know if it works, but I would assume it would. And if not, you can always modify the JSON before you read it in. So you can make it work, surely. And what was the first part? Is SQLite 3 another good solution compared to tinydb? Yeah. I've not used that one either, but I don't see why not. I think it does very similar to I don't want to say like an Airtable. It's yeah. I mean, it's just a small DB. Would be fine with that one. You can use the SQL module, I believe, and just hook it up. That's awesome, man. Thanks. Palm tree backdrop in our future. Maybe. I got 2 tangerine trees in my backyard at my new place, which I mean, when I heard that, I was blown away. That's kind of cool. Very cool. Because just a lot different. I grew up on a farm, so my backdrop used to be like, I don't know, corn or, I mean, we didn't grow crops. We had goats and stuff, but, so definitely a change of pace, but it'd be super cool. SQLite is a relation table based SQL solution. TinyDB is more akin to Mongo document. Yeah. So that's the more correct way to put it. SQLite, SQL, TinyDB, no SQL. Yep, that's true. Yes, thank you for the help on that. More eloquent way to put it. Yeah, so SQLite, SQL. You can just use the SQL module for that and connect your SQL database and just use SQLite that way. Meanwhile, and then you would use SQL to like read and write everything from it. And then TinyDB, instead you're using Python. So where, let me find it. TinyDB template. Where that other one had that SQL step, this one has Python. So it's just, it's different, I guess. Which, if you don't know SQL, then maybe this is a good solution. But SQL is just kind of scary from the outside looking in. And then once you get like super far into it, I guess it gets a little bit scarier. But you can learn most of it in half a day. PyDash. Let's see what that is. PyDash. The kitchen sink of Python utility libraries for doing stuff in a functional way. Based on a Lodash library. That's neat. I haven't used it. Most of the stuff that jumps out at me is deep path strings. Quick start. Flatten, flatten, omit. That's cool. I'll have to take a look at it. I feel like, yeah, I probably use a lot of different libraries for the stuff that they're showing. But it's neat that you can do it all in one, because you would use like NumPy to do one thing and pandas to do another thing, and yeah, that's neat. There we go. Well, cool. We're just hanging out. I keep on getting more notifications on Discord. That's why I keep on clicking over there. But I have a broken bot on one of my channels that I need to fix. Yeah, we're just going to turn this off for right now. I'm not sure what happened. Well, cool. Just hanging out, answering any questions. I don't even know what time it is. 5:05. I feel like there was a build that I was going to do. Oh, and that was this Selenium demo. Selenium Python app. Need to get better at deleting these scripts. Do you have an example of importing, exporting custom fields from Trello API? Let's check it out. I don't know if I have an example. GitHub issue to Trello, Trello to Slack, Figma to Trello. I may not have an example, but we can play with it. It's been a while since I've used the Trello module. Trello, what was it? Custom fields. So you're trying to pull in update a card, create any card, move a card. What kind of fields are you looking for? Like custom fields on the Trello API? On cards? Boards? Is there get custom fields for a board? So get request, boards. Yeah, it may just be something that we haven't implemented. If it's something that you need, I can add it for you. I don't think this one will be too hard. To add in. If we don't have the functionality right now, you could do it through a Python step, but that's not ideal, right? Because we already had the Python or the Trello module. But if you need the feature of getting custom fields for a board or something else, then we can add it. Using a custom fields power up and using the fields off the card into a Google Sheet or CSV file. Using a custom fields power up. Yeah, you might have to forgive me. I'm not the most familiar with Trello. Custom fields power up and using the fields off the card. So get custom fields from a card. Get custom field items for a card. Yeah, I mean, if you need it, I can add it in. Just like a list of custom fields. Because right now, to do that, it looks like we don't have that feature. But you could code it yourself, or if you need it, I can add it. Crest.get, and then whatever the base URL is. And then I guess that would be a variable that you could create. But I'll add that to my list if it's custom fields of a card on Trello. Custom fields. I'll see if I can squeeze that in this week. Well, all right. Thank you everyone for hanging out. We're all in Discord. Let me get the invite link. And pull this over here. So if there's any questions that we couldn't get to, or that you need more help with, we're all in Discord. So I'm grabbing the link right now. We're all over in Discord. Come say hi. We're happy to help with anything you got. Answer any questions over there. Of course, we do the live stream every 2 weeks. So not this coming up Tuesday, but the next one we'll be live again. And thank you all for hanging out. Happy New Year. I hope you're all doing great. And I guess I'll see you next time. I think I got most of the questions. Awesome. And thank you guys for helping out. Jack, Jesse, and Jeff, and everyone else hanging out. I appreciate you. And all right, see you everyone.